Greetings, wonderful humans. Welcome back to the channel. Right, today we've got a lot to get on with. We are building a lumber mill. We're going to make a start building an entire dock area with multiple buildings and all that kind of business. But first we have a hill to get rid of directly behind this house, and all of that material we are going to need for when we come to build the dock area, because there's kind of a big hole to fill. But let's sleep and we'll start a new day building this thing. Alright, so this is the hill in question. As you can see, it is quite claustrophobic between the barn and the main house. So this hill is going to go, and all of that material is going to be used to fill in a section, a quite large section, over by where we want to make the dock. So, but yeah, removing this hill is going to give us space to put in the lumber mill, which is going to be at this end of the homestead, if you want to call it that. But over there, just beyond the watchtower, is where our dock's going to be. And yeah, I've got quite a lot of ideas to build here. I've got a lot of things I want to put on this. But yeah, this is the inlet, what needs filling in. Now, I did originally think that maybe we could build a little footbridge, but this waterway here isn't terribly wide, so building the dock further into that, given the amount of space we're going to need, would narrow this off further, and I think it would look a bit crap. And also, we don't have a lot of space between this inlet and the watchtower, which is right there. So yeah, so we're going to fill this in, and then we are going to start building. We're going to sculpt the land a little bit as well, but then we're going to start building the main portion of this dock on the existing shoreline. So yeah, but first let's get started on this hill, because we need to do that first and build this lumber mill, because all of this material, like I said, is going to fill in that huge inlet. So let's get started on this. So that is the hill gone, and this area already looks so much better. Now, what I want to do in this area, like I already said, is build the lumber mill, but there's that small hill just over at the back there. The lumber mill is probably going to go right against that, and then for the rest of this area, maybe chuck in a couple of crop fields just so that I've got a constant source of bread in this, so I don't have to keep running back to the main house where the other crop fields are. But yeah, let's get our materials, head over there, and make a start on building this lumber mill. Alright, so there is our lumber mill. I have used acacia logs for the timber supports. The walls are stone bricks, tough bricks, and andesite. I've lined the edges of the walls with stone brick walls. I lined the roof with deep slate and finished off the roof with copper steps. On the inside here, as you can see, we've got some barrels. They serve both an aesthetic and a practical purpose. It's our storage, and it kind of looks like a conveyor belt to run the logs over before chopping them. I think overall this came out pretty nicely, but now let's get on with those crop fields. Alright, so with the crop fields done, let's get all of that material from that hill, head over to that inlet and start filling it in. Now, there's another reason why I wanted to fill in this rather than sort of utilise it within the build, and it's because the main homestead is only one block above sea level. So, to maximise the amount of space that I've got to work with and to make things a little bit easier, filling this in just made the most sense. And also, I've got all of that cobble and dirt now from that hill, so I might as well put it to some good use. now I'm not sure why I felt the need to pretend to be a fish at this point. Maybe I was just getting in the mood or what, I don't know. But I soon righted myself and continued building this first portion of the dock. As you can see, we're using acacia planks and we're pretty much just following the natural coastline. It was at this point that I realised I had sorely underestimated the amount of acacia I was going to need for this build, so I figured I would sleep through the night before taking a trip to the old house to see what materials we had left there before heading out on a bit of a wood farm. Oh, well, that's disappointing. Right then. I guess we'll just get on with the wood farm. This cave looks fun. Ooh, looks like there's some iron down there. Definitely want to explore, but not now. No, too many trees to chop and a dock to build. So whilst I was building this house, I kind of had a bit of a change of mind of what I was going to do with this lower section. Initially, I was thinking maybe living quarters and then like a little bit of a shed. But now I think I want to make the entire bottom part like a workshop, boat building area, and then out of the back of the building I want to build like a launch ramp. So I've opened out another arch in this lower section, and now I'm going to come around and I'm going to dig all of this stuff out, and this will put the launch ramp sort of almost in line with where the dock is coming out, which I think will look kind of cool. So let's get all this dug out and then try and figure out how this launch ramp is going to look. Okay, so we have built out the jetties after that bit of a wood farm, and or at least the start of the jetties. Now I want to build a crane, but I don't want anything too big because obviously this corner I don't want it to get too cramped or for it to feel obstructed. So I'm thinking something along the lines of like a 3x3 base, and I just want it to look like it's able to, you know, load things from the dock to the boats and back again. So I'm going to have a workout and figure out how this is going to work, and then we'll get to building. So with the epic battle with those pillager dickheads over and done with, this is where the dock was at this point. We still had a lot more wood to farm, to finish those buildings and to add some detailing work around the entire place and make it look cool. So I had a conversation with my wife, we came up with some ideas, and now it looks like this. Alright, so starting on this dock here, I've changed these support timbers from the acacia logs to stripped oak logs instead and put some trapdoors on top. I just thought it looked better in contrast with the acacia planks on the rest of the dock here. We've also built these small jetties for these more in these little rowboats, and my wife's contribution to the detailing is this sunken boat with a bunch of seagrass in it. I think it's quite a cool detail, and we've done that in more than one place. We've got a bunch of storage over here by the edge of the dock. And more dotted around all over the place. Here we've got another sunken boat and a little bit more seagrass. Again, just all these little fun details just to make the place look a little bit more interesting. A little bench here with some flowers. And then over here where the buildings are, let's just have a quick walk through here. Yeah, my wife named this. Yeah. So this is the fishing shop. We've got some fishing rods, a bit of storage. We've got ourselves a fish. And yeah, more storage. And yeah, it's just a tiny little place. It's not super functional, but it's fun. Storage shed number 1 has these stacks of bamboo and hay bales, pumpkins, and some kelp in there. Storage shed number 2 has these logs, has some more storage in there, some more kelp, some more melons, and some pumpkins and stuff like that. And this import and export office just has a few bookshelves in there to log all the things coming in and out of the dock. Now let's have a look at the Harbour Master's house. As you can see here, I have changed this area quite a lot since I built it initially. I've changed this entire ground section here from regular dirt to coarse dirt and gravel. I just thought it was a nice detail, and I've sort of graduated this out into the grassy surrounding area as well. And again, just to break up the grass to dock sort of transition, I thought it makes it look quite nice. Heading inside the Harbour Master's place, in the lower section, this is now a boat building / maintenance area. This is a little workshop. We've got ourselves a sink, crafting table, a couple of furnaces, a boat there being built or repaired up on these ramps, I guess you could call them. And then further down here we have another boat ready to launch. Heading upstairs, the Harbour Master's quarters, if you want to call them that. Not quite finished really. Could do with maybe putting a bed in there or a desk or something like that. But I quite like the way it looks so far. We've got this zone or this area map on the wall that we've uncovered. And it goes all the way across right over to our first house that we built, which is just over there. And yeah, it just covers all the waterways and all the areas that we have been sort of wandering around. And we're probably going to zoom this in a little bit further and uncover some more stuff. Got a cartography table and compass, and we've got some windows on all sides, or 3 sides, so that the Harbour Master can see what's going on at any point in the dock. And then finally coming down here, we've got all these storage containers with sand in there, we've got some gravel in there, got some sugarcane over here and some big crates, got some regular storage and our crane. Logs ready to go onto the boats with this claw grabby thing. I'm likely going to build at some point a big boat to be loading onto, but that is a future project. I'm probably going to also build a lighthouse over on that headland there. But yeah, for now, this is where we're at. So that pretty much covers it for the dock area. I'm really happy with the way this turned out, especially considering I didn't really have a clue what the hell I was doing, and I was kind of stuck with that, only being a block higher than the sea level. That was something I had to try and figure out, but yeah, I think it turned out really nicely. Now, one other thing I want to build in the future is probably a proper storehouse. We've got these storage sheds here, but I want something purpose built for like all of the materials and not just mostly aesthetic. So I'm thinking I like the position of the lumber mill where it is. So I'm thinking somewhere maybe on that side, maybe over by the barn, building a specific storage area. Now we're going to get rid of these crop fields. They serve the purpose, but ultimately I think we're probably just going to make this like a decorative area, you know, put some nice paths in there and stuff like that, just make it look nice. But yeah, over here is probably where I'm going to be looking at building the storehouse, just before the ground starts to rise up again there, and yeah, see what we can make of that. Alright, that just about wraps up this video. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you enjoyed this build. If you've got any questions relating to the build, please do just drop it in the comments. I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can. And keep your eyes peeled for future builds, because we're going to be extending this world into, you know, well, who knows what. See you in the next video.